so I was under the impression the sweatiness might add to the contrast, but honestly, it makes it a little more subtle, depending on what you're going for, either a plus or minus. But a little update on the back end of, everything else that's been going on. Finally got the merch fucking moving. I'll cut through a couple like sort of B-roll shots of what we ended up making. But kind of a short sleeve looking gray, kind of stone washed. They've all got a similar little kind of stylized like lat spread sort of logo. And then over the back, everything's got some kind of something in like a pressed silicone. But I'm kind of jumping the gun, man. This is this wasn't just like a fucking overnight thing. Like this is kind of a lot of extra planning I wasn't really expecting. You think it's just like, all right, let's go to like a printify and make some kind of random. Like no, there's a lot more back end stuff at work. But assuming all's gone well, this shit is live. Right? We got the samsulik.com and everything. Yesterday, me and Mark, we went to we went to American Barbell. We were sitting in there for like 4 hours, getting all the product shots of us doing like some sets and a lot of this, a lot of like just standard kind of shit. But let's see if you can. So, cutting over the shoulders, because obviously I'm dieting down right now. Literally 100% of what I fucking stand for right now. So if you're not trying to trim down, guess what? You're not out of freaking luck, because coupled with some of the cutting shirts, got kind of a grayish. What do you say? I'm kind of far away with this sort of lighting, but a grayish, more of a light red. If you're on the bulk, do not freaking worry. We have got you covered, right? And not only do I think the silicone is just kind of extra cool, but you do have the added benefit of gives you a little bit of extra grip on some kind of any kind of press that you're doing, But don't worry. I'm not going to turn every video into like a freaking Sam kind of merch ad. But what's really cool about the way, because like this is cool. Like honestly. When me and Mark actually got all these final versions in and everything, like we were fucking extra hyped. Because we've been working on this for months. Not just the design stuff, but it takes a while to get these sort of things moving. So seeing it actually in person, ready to go, that was getting us real excited. But the cool part is now I can do whatever, because it's it's not like we partnered with some kind of random whatever. Like this is just all us. Like we got a little design team who's helping me sort of. Like if I want this on this to look like this, and like I love the way that this shirt specifically feels, like not what it feels to wear, but like the bagginess and the sleeves and everything else. So it's gotten to the point now where like I can kind of think of something, get down the description, and then we can just jump straight to making, And that's extra cool for me because it's not like any other. Because I've been totally quiet about it. Like all the comments where you guys talk about like, Sam, when are you gonna release this, or when are you gonna partner with these guys to do? I haven't wanted to talk about it, because it's like a knock on wood situation. I want to kind of get it moving first, but there will be more to come here for sure. And I want to hear your feedback, because I've said this about the videos before. I'm not just making them for fun. Like I make these because you guys like them. Like if in the beginning when I was posting these, I don't think I would have kept doing it for this long, unless I got the, unless I built this kind of like reception, which is absolutely fucking insane. Like today is Thanksgiving. The video is, it's the next day, but oh my gosh, yeah. Like when I look back, it's just absolutely insane how crazy these last 2.5 years have been. Because it's like, it's like I'll talk to some guys I haven't seen before, and it's like, yeah, the whole world for Sam totally flipped freaking upside down. But, oh yeah, so just a black kind of grayish hoodie, or no, grayish short sleeve shirt. Little on the baggier end. Most of this stuff is just true to size. Like this is a 3XL, and like it's like a little bit draped, but nothing too crazy. Yeah, so the black shirts just got pumped over the back. We were trying to figure out some way to do like a like a sweat activated thing where it's like once you were drenched, all those letters would be revealed. But it's nothing came of that. Maybe that's for like a version 2. But yeah, for this little silicone looking starter line, yeah, there will be more to come. I'm extra excited about it. So I'll splice yeah, I should have already spliced in like some of the website stuff, but the last part is just a plain ass Sula hoodie. And they've all got a little Sam on here. Oh, I didn't even talk about it. We added a little extra holographic reminder onto the tag of all these things. You can't see it now, but in a close-up, yeah, what does that say? So I get to go home. We can cut to the drive to back, and I'll slap one of these things on and put it through its paces and get it just as drenched, if not more drenched than this. So, little update for you. Well, I'll see you in the car. Yeah, so that's what I've been working on for the last couple of weeks. But that's cool. I'm glad that's finally actually moving. Now, the tricky part is over. I get to just have fucking fun with it, So if we can maybe come up with little back and forths in the comments about what to get going next. Nothing too crazy, nothing too wild, but we're gonna branch out. Won't all be the same. They won't all be the same. Just rubber letters kind of stuff. There's a lot of room to play around. But plan for tonight with back, pull downs, rows, pullovers. Same as normal. I mean, really not the craziest thing in the world. But this gym does have one machine, which I'm a little extra excited for. And that's this sort of like hammer strength. I'd say, I think they call it a low. They might call it like a high row. But what I like about it is I can sit here and really get a deep lat stretch in the front, and as I do the movement, the handle's like sort of range of motion path leads not just like straight towards you, but almost in front of you downward. So it's like pulled out at the top, and then it pulls into more of a row. So it basically ends up just letting me squeeze the frick out of my entire back, from lats to even upper traps if I really kind of try to pull my elbows together and keep my shoulders up a little bit. Usually I try to make it a bit more lat focused, but that's kind of the cable finisher that I've been doing for a little while, where I go put like a bench on an incline, cable, 2 extra long D handles. I kind of do that same sort of thing where it's like a lat focused stretch and then leaning back into more of a complete back activating squeeze. Now, usually I like that cable version as the finisher, but for whatever reason, this machine version, I usually like to start with it. So, apart from the fact that, I know I'm going to do pull downs and rows and pullovers and stuff, I think I want to try to change it up. And not only due to the fact that lifting in different ways is going to give you different kind of stimulus, and it's just going to be better all around, but it's just better for you as a fucking lifter, because you'll get more experience, period, with different movements and how this feels after this. Like benching on a Smith machine feels completely different if you've just done 3 sets of like cable work, flies or cable presses beforehand, and now you're pre-exhausted. So it's almost like you can't even just look at a workout as simply an exercise by exercise basis. Like a lift that's comprised of pull downs, rows, and pullovers can feel extremely different depending on the order that you do them, as well as like if you do heavy sets of this, more lighter squeezing sets of this, maybe some stretch focus like partial rep, like there's a lot of different variables to it. And what I think is extra cool is it's easy to play around, it's not because as long as your intensity is there, it's really hard to go wrong. Like you'd have to actively be doing something a little bit weird and off to really set yourself down the wrong path of any sort of specific muscle group lift. So with back, I mean, you could throw a dude on just a seated row and a pull down, and if he went nuts and switched attachments every so often, his back is going to be sweet. And then if you gave a guy like the fanciest gym in the world with every different pull down machine angle and strength curve, and you had him go extra hard, he might get a bit more variability out of that training, but not so much that, like, you know, in a year the beginner might even really see a difference, you know. And I just mean to say that as a beginner lifter, and I don't want to say that in like a negative connotation sort of way, but for somebody who's very prone to new gains, I think that's a better way to say it, than, you know, the actual like exercise choices per se. It's not that shouldn't take the foreground of what you should be focusing on. Going hard, really pushing past the uncomfortability of like exerting yourself, that should be goal number one, training wise. Tandem with, you know, maintain a reasonable form. If you're benching, you know, ease into it. Don't just drop 185 on your face, like little things like that. But that should go without saying, you know. But yeah, so that's the plan for tonight. I want to try to change it up, but keep the intensity, the energy, and everything else in between the same as normal. So, you know, I say that now. If I do end up doing a back day, which I've kind of done before, if I feel like it's just the best move for tonight, whoop-de-doo. I mean, that's just what's going to happen. But I am going to try to change it up. So I'll probably specifically look for things and exercise orders, or like maybe some supersets that I haven't done, at least super recently. But I think that's all there is to say to preface it. Let's just get started. All right. I don't typically start with this machine, and now that I think about it, I don't think I've ever started with this machine, or even I don't think I've even fucking used it before. It's kind of a multi-grip sort of row, but with the orientation that I'm going to do today, I'm thinking underhand at that lowest setting, and this is lighter than I could potentially like move around, but heavy enough that I want to go where I can still get a really good squeeze. So I want to make this a bit more of a controlled set, no throwing it around, full second hold, like, and then burn out in that fashion. And the very next set I might do a little heavier and be a little more brutish, but I think this will be a good start, and a start that I don't normally do, so hitting that change it up goal as well. Oh, yeah, okay. Oh. Let's do this next one a little heavier and a little quicker, and then just go from there. Okay. Oh. Yeah. Yeah. Let's do one more Goldilocks style right in between those two weights, and then move on. Yeah, this is definitely a start I haven't started with, at least for a while. Okay. All right. I think mid to upper back has just been wrecked. Let's go smack some lats with a basic approach. Guess what it is? classic pull down will do well. Now this first set, I'm gonna make a little heftier, throw this shit around. Like I'm still gonna squeeze at the bottom, of course, but this will just be a heavier set. And the next one, I might drop the weight by half and do a real squeezing focus kind of thing. But I do think that an even balance of some heavier, quicker reps and some slower squeezing ones, usually slower and lighter, but not always, I think it's a good way to go about it. Oh. 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 Oh my god, okay. Oh. Holy crap. Yeah. That was good. Like that was a fatiguing set, but that actually might have been a little too heavy. Let's drop it to, well, from 260 to 180. Make this next one more slow squeezing focus, and then go from there. Already probably about halfway done. Doesn't take too much. Plus, I'm extra carved up from Thanksgiving today, so I think that helps the energy levels. Okay. One more like that. And then let's move on to that half pull down, half row machine behind me. There's Mark. He's got some legs tonight, so not a tandem lift, but he's getting after it. Oh. Oh. Oh, yeah. Holy crap. All right. Let's do that pullover thing, or row pull down thing. And honestly, if it's a good set, I think that's it. Back is feeling, well, no, no point even saying it. We'll see in probably just a set or two. 2 plates felt like a little, well, like a little. 4 would be too much. I think 3 might be the sweet spot. And there's potential for this becoming a drop set, but I gotta finish the first portion first. Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah, I lied. No need for a freaking drop set there. Just that straight one is good. That's it. Let's go fucking pose that, man. That was a quick one. But still, about as much volume as I was aiming for. 3 rows, 3 pull downs. Yeah, 7 sets. If they're good, I think you may not need too many more. But let's go find some lighting. And now we're back to the fucking beginning, except much later into the day. So if one little note, if this audio is like totally scuffed, the music in here is like crazy loud. So I probably had to do some kind of like fucking noise reducer sort of whatever. But let's see how we're looking pumped through the damn pump cover. Oh yeah. I would say living up to the silicone, goddammit. But let's actually get some real data. All right. Whew. So this is with an extra 800 calories worth of a refeed. I did end up eating a bit more than I intended to during the Thanksgiving dinner, but that's all right. You know, I'm not saying for all the time, but for this sort of instance specifically for me, it just kind of counts as a little bit of a refeed, which just about 2 months in, nearly, I was probably due for. So one day is not going to kill you, obviously. It's when you start like, oh, refeed Monday, refeed Tuesday, refeed Friday. It's, you know, there's a limit to where you're actually using it for an intended purpose versus you're just not even you're not even sticking to your deficit anymore. So it should be a touch extra carved up. So this post end might be a little freakier than normal. No. All right. And same shift in the back. Ooh. Now that is a Christmas tree if I've ever fucking seen one. All right. And we're on track to some cool shit now. No. Yo. Oh my God. All right. Well, back more than fucking complete. Holy shit. All right, let's do one more and then we get ready to get out of here. Oh, okay. There we go. Now we can fucking scram. What do you think? Pumped?
Yeah, Jesus.
So yeah, look at this. Like lower back. Look at all those extra fucking like lines. Right?
Jesus.
And I'm like I'm soft. Not relatively to like everybody else, but like there's a lot of pinchable fluff in here. So next month after, this will get fucking nuts. So how's legs?
Good.
Very good.
Crazy thrashed on a post Thanksgiving meal after the first set of super heavy leg press. I was like,
Oh yes. So we finished dinner. We basically came right over here. Honestly, that first set of rows, I was feeling pretty uncomfortable. I had a bunch of extra fucking turkey. I will say this though, that was probably our best Thanksgiving turkey ever cooked. I'm talking dry salt brine, butterflied in the oven. Pops really knew what he was doing. But let's get in here, dog. Let's run that up again. All right, one. Yeah, there it is. All right, let's get out of here. Yeah, that was quite the freaking back day indeed. A little quicker, a little higher paced, and I could definitely tell my kind of exercise. My energy levels like set by set. Oh, that yawn is not reflective. You know, like that workout, I was feeling pretty well energized, and really, just because I was well fed. You know, so back onto my 20-something 100 calorie limit tomorrow, and then I am good. So I wouldn't be surprised if in the next couple days I'll be at a new low of a 238 or so, 238 morning weight. You know, empty stomach, empty everything, and then just keep going from there. But yeah, back especially, I'm excited for to see get leaner, because chest, extra veins, extra fibers, obviously fucking cool. right? Same thing with triceps and legs, hamstring separation, abs, shoulder striations. Okay, I'm getting excited about all of it. But back specifically has some key features which are extra cool, right? That kind of Christmas tree of your erectors tying into your lat insertions, which you can like physically see the fibers of in that little like triangular sort of shape kind of thing. And then just veins across the board, you know, top to bottom, side to side, everywhere else. So I was, I walked to the cupboard to get some shit last night, and I could see way more quad veins than normal, just walking around like nothing. So yeah, we are definitely getting somewhere. If you're curious about when this dieting phase is going to end, yeah, not soon. You know, I'm leaner, but I'm not lean enough. In the sense that I'm not as lean as I want to get during this dieting phase. No absolute freaking chance. But plan for tonight meal-wise, I might have some leftover turkey. Get some protein in, but that's it. I think I already had like maybe upwards of 250, 300 grams of carbs, 100 something of fats, and then I'm at 230 of protein. I did end up, slamming a ton of turkey. So yeah, not really too much food left to eat, which I don't want to go to bed right after working out without eating anything. I do want to eat some kind of something or other, but just nothing too crazy. So that's where I think just a little bit of leftover turkey would be good for me. Take all my vitamins, make sure I drink some extra water, and then pass out. I'm sure I'm gonna sleep like a baby. I'm not even sure how long. It might do me good not to even set an alarm, just to make sure I really get a full, just to make sure I get the full sort of recovery effect of having had a refeed day today. Because if I just ate a bunch of extra food, if I don't get a good night's rest, then, sure, I had some extra calories that day, but I probably didn't make as good of a use of it as I could have if I matched that with, being properly hydrated and more than well rested. Because it all just plays into each other. It's kind of a synergistic style. It's like it's like you're trying to climb a ladder or build a tower on 3 legs, right? Your diet, your hydration, and your sleep. If you're drinking more than enough fucking water and you're eating more than enough food, but you're not getting enough sleep, the thing's just gonna fucking topple over, and you can get all the sleep you want in the fucking world, but if you don't eat enough food and stay hydrated, then your training is gonna suffer too. So it's to the point where all 3 of those things need to be in balance, and when they are, everything else improves. When I'm eating in a reasonable, like a pretty consistent style timing, it makes my circadian rhythm a bit better. And all I mean by that is just like I fall asleep at the same time, I wake up at the same time, even like right before my alarm is about to go off, because I'm like, that feels like normal to me. And then, makes my meal timings easier, and it definitely makes the training easier when you get a good night's rest. I mean, trying to lift off of jack for sleep, not cool. It's just no fucking fun. And that really is as simple as I can put it. Like, obviously, it's less effective. If you're working out without proper recovery, you're really just you're pedaling a recumbent bike, which usually is a good thing, but in this context, you're pedaling but you're not getting anywhere. So what was I about to say? So as much as you could say like, oh, it's just not optimal, like subjectively, trying to have a good lift when your sleep is off and your hydration is off and you didn't eat your meals, and it's just not as fun, And that's one thing that I really hold a lot of value in, is I want to set up everything outside of my training so that when I do come to the gym and I am ready to really push myself and exert and everything else, that I get to enjoy it, because that's the fun part. If that wasn't fun, dude, I probably wouldn't have been doing it for damn near like 6 years straight or so. So I like it enough to say, okay, I want to be a bit more controlled with the things and the way that I spend my time outside of the gym, so that when I am in the gym, I can spend that time extra well and really reap all the fucking benefits I can from it. But it's not even just a question of like, okay, this is optimal for my lift and for my muscular progress, I'm going to do this. Like it really is, it just feels better. And if you feel better, you're going to go harder. If you go harder, you're going to get better results. If you get better results, you're going to feel pretty good about it. It's, it just keeps spinning up from there. But that's implying that you've got a routine that's at least reasonably in tune enough to put yourself into a state of progress. Right? Unfortunately, there's a lot of lifters out there where you've been working out for 2-3 years. Your main gaining rate has suddenly ceased, and then it's you're the same dude this year that you were last year. Maybe not you, but like these guys, they do the same workouts of the same intensity with the same weights, and they expect different results. It's just not going to work. So that's why I'm certainly not a hater of main gaining. Right? Hit your protein goals, eat enough food that you're hungry for, and work out for probably like 2 years or so, even up into like 3 years. If you're working out hard, that's going to work, and you're going to keep growing. But eventually you're going to reach a point where that's not enough, and you're going to have to leverage your calorie intake, changing up your cardio, really tuning in your training to make sure that you're actually stimulating growth and not just like getting a bit of a pump and then leaving. So as time progresses, you got to be a bit smarter with it, and that's just the nature of everything, man. It's sort of like the you wouldn't say inverse, you'd say exponential relationship of all sorts of shit. The faster you're going, the more resistance you're going to feel, and it's at an increasing rate. So the more gains you get, the harder it is to make more. But on your side of things, the more gains you get, the smarter of a lifter that you are, the more experience you have. And ideally, if you're paying attention to some of these videos talking about like macros and calories and training intensity, I mean just like videos from anybody, then you should have the knowledge base too to be able to say, okay, let's implement some changes. Let's try some new shit. Let's do this for a couple of weeks, see what happens. And then, it's simply an if then, right? If the training that you're doing is, or if you decide to, start upping your intensity, you're really tracking your progressive overload, you're making sure you're moving up your lifts by 5 pounds a week or certain rep numbers a week, then you notice some gains, keep going, right? But if you just keep doing the same shit and then you get the exact same results that you had before, then look back. Could you have made much more use out of the last 6 months or 3 months or however long? If the answer is yes, and you've got that sort of itch in the back of your mind where you're like, man, yeah, I really do want to lock into this, I want to get serious, then the answer should be clear. It's not for anybody else to tell you. You simply would probably feel better after, but that's you can't force it, right? You can't force somebody to go hard. They kind of have to do it for themselves, which is kind of it's the cool part, but it also makes it a bit of a barrier to entry, because you have to now say, okay, nobody's gonna make me do this. Nobody's forcing me to do this set to failure. I gotta make myself do it, and it's hard, and this gym is empty. Nobody's watching me. Maybe I should just go easy, right? I will admit there is definitely some trickiness to it, but I don't have to explain the benefits of. I don't have to explain the benefits of working out here. I think we get the gist. So plan for tomorrow. Get some kind of crazy ass arm day somewhere. Not exactly sure where, but I can tell you this much: veins will be involved. Veins will be involved. Now, to what degree is to be seen, but they will most certainly be involved. So I think that's all I got there. I'll see you tomorrow.